Nikola Tesla, born in 1856 in modern-day Croatia, what was then the Austro-Hungarian Empire, is known as one of the greatest minds of the modern era. He claimed his inventions would come to him in extravagant visions, where the mechanisms and ideas would appear to him in flashes. He then would use his thinking power to create, operate, and experiment with these inventions within his own mind. A feat that other great minds like Einstein, with his thought experiments, would perform to come up with some of the greatest theories of our time. But some of Tesla's inventions showed eerie similarities to ancient structures, down to the very components and materials used. And many have claimed that Tesla was only rediscovering lost technology. And his most famous experiment, the Wardenclyffe Tower free energy device, was simply the Great Pyramid reverse engineered. There are those who claim Tesla was obsessed with ancient history, namely the ancient Egyptians. He no doubtably would have been taught histories of ancient Greece, Rome, and Egypt in his early years of schooling in Croatia. And many don't realize that Tesla grew up not far from the largest pyramid in the world, the Pyramid of the Sun in what is now Bosnia, which has been known by locals for hundreds of years to be a pyramid rather than a mountain, and was probably common knowledge in the area at the time. But what is the significance of the Great Pyramid? Isn't it just a tomb built by Khufu in 2500 BC during the Bronze Age? This explanation is pretty haphazard and far-fetched when you get down to the details of it. Historians say it took them 20 to 27 years using nothing but bronze tools and manpower. But there are many stones used that are harder than bronze or iron, like granite, that was quarried 500 miles away. How could a Bronze Age culture cut and transport megalithic granite blocks over 500 miles in that short of time? And then there are the incredible alignments used in making the Great Pyramids. It's aligned so accurately to the poles of the Earth that we only have been able to match it in the modern era. The base is leveled within 3/4 of an inch, something we need lasers to do today. And the height of the pyramid is exactly 43,200ths the size of the polar radius of Earth, while the base is 43,200ths the length of the Earth's circumference, within over 99% accuracy. Meaning the pyramid is a perfect scale model of the Earth. And 43,200 is an extremely important and common number in sacred geometry and ancient architecture, so it's not a surprising scale. It is more likely that Khufu excavated the pyramid in that 27 years, and possibly renovated it as well, much like the pharaoh Thutmose IV did in 1400 BC with the Great Sphinx, as written on the steel between the Sphinx's paws. But then who did build the pyramids? And what was the purpose of it that made Tesla so obsessed? The Arabians, who took over Egypt in the 7th century AD, and who were the leaders of the world in math and science at the time, believed the pyramids to be stores of lost ancient knowledge from before the Great Flood, and unlocking their mysteries would reveal secrets not yet known to man. In Egyptian mythology, going back to the very beginning of Egypt, when the gods themselves ruled, there's a story of the goddess Isis bringing the god Osiris back to life, using some kind of magic or advanced knowledge, with the help of other gods such as Thoth and Ra. The stories differ and the details are often vague, but some say she used the Great Pyramid itself to perform this ritual of resurrection, and literally revived the soul of the mummy of Osiris. And later pharaohs, believing they were reincarnations and descendants of this very god, would use the pyramid to send their souls back into the heavens to live out eternity with the gods. So what kind of technology was this thing? In 1901, Tesla designed the Wardenclyffe Tower, over on Long Island, New York. The tower was designed as a free energy device that would provide wireless energy to other small towers in the vicinity and send signals across vast distances. Tesla designed it to use the Earth as a conductor, and the ionosphere, a layer of Earth's atmosphere, as a reflection medium for wireless transmission of electricity and information. Tesla believed that by creating extremely high voltage and high-frequency electrical oscillations at the tower, he could generate electromagnetic waves that would propagate through the Earth and the ionosphere, allowing for wireless energy transmission to very distant locations. The tower consisted of a large cylindrical structure with a central tower and a spherical metal dome on top. It was designed to create extremely high voltages using a Tesla coil arrangement. To access the Earth's charge, the tower extended 120 feet into the Earth by way of iron and copper rods to properly ground it. At the very same time, the man who was funding the project, J.P. Morgan, was also sending archaeological expedition to Egypt, particularly in Giza, and many have speculated that he was relaying information to Tesla as needed. Many believe this to be the case due to the sheer similarities between the Great Pyramid and the Wardenclyffe Tower. For one, the overall design. The tower was capped with a dome made of copper that would focus the electricity into the atmosphere. The pyramid was also said to have a capstone, made of what is called electrum by the ancient Greeks, which was an alloy of gold and silver and is extremely conductive. The tower also had layers of electrical insulation, so certain components wouldn't get fried. Oddly enough, the specific type of limestone material said to have encased the entire Great Pyramid would have made a perfect electrical insulator. This limestone lacked magnesium content, and thus could not carry a charge whatsoever. The pyramids also contained similar copper pipes and iron rods that would act to ground the structure electrically to the earth. Many don't know this, but the Great Pyramid actually does go under the surface quite a ways, and there are chambers underneath the actual structure as well. The pyramid also contains certain mechanisms and properties that we don't fully understand the purpose of. Many of the chambers and passageways seem to have been built in a specific way. There are shafts into the pyramid that point out into space from the inner chambers. There are empty voids in the pyramid that were completely closed off before modern archaeologists got there. And there are vibratory properties that could cause the entire structure to resonate at a specific frequency. The same frequency the Earth resonates at, 440 Hz. This is due to the rushing water of aquifers deep below the surface reverberating through the land. And much of the interior of the pyramid is made with an extremely dense and heavy material known as rose granite. This granite has a high composition of quartz crystals packed tightly together. This means that if the material is put under enough pressure, it'll create a charge. In the two shafts leading from the opposite sides to the Queen's chamber, there have been found residue from zinc chloride and hydrochloric acid. Materials that when combined create hydrogen gas. This gas would have filled the Queen's chamber, made its way up to the King's chamber, and created immense pressures on the rose granite, giving them this charge through the piezoelectric effect. This energy would no doubt have been focused in the electrum capstone, and would have been transmitted to other towers just like Tesla's experiment. Some speculate the technology could have been transmitted through the ground, something that Tesla displayed during his experiments in Colorado Springs, using a large Tesla coil several years prior to Wardenclyffe. Tesla Tower used the resonant frequency of the Earth just like the pyramids as well. The concept behind the Wardenclyffe Tower was to use the resonance of Earth, specifically the Earth's natural electrical properties, to aid in wireless transmission of energy and communication. Tesla believed that by tapping into Earth's resonance, he could create a global wireless communication and energy distribution system. Tesla was influenced by his understanding of the Earth's electrical characteristics and his theories about resonance and electromagnetic waves. He envisioned the Earth as a conductor with natural resonant frequencies, often referred to as Schumann resonances. These are extremely low-frequency electromagnetic vibrations that occur in Earth's ionosphere. Tesla's plan for the Wardenclyffe Tower involved creating extremely high voltage and high-frequency electrical oscillations using the tower's equipment. By transmitting these oscillations into the Earth, Tesla aimed to create electromagnetic waves that would be reflected by the ionosphere. He believed that this would enable wireless transmission of energy and communication over vast distances, potentially circumventing the need for traditional wired infrastructure. The dirt beneath us is constantly holding a charge as well as the atmosphere above. Energy from the sun or solar winds are constantly hitting the Earth, charging our atmosphere. Auroras happen when enough energy hits the atmosphere that it excites gases, with electric energy making them glow. This energy charges the atmosphere as well as the crust of the Earth, creating an electrical world both above and beneath our feet. The Tesla Tower aimed to access these energy sources, to create and transmit free electricity. He didn't use any crazy advanced technologies like nuclear energy or rocket science to achieve this. He simply understood the relationship between the electricity in the Earth and the atmosphere, and used the Tesla coil and the right conductive materials to tap into the Earth's natural processes. Meaning this is a technology that ancient people could have come up with, given they had enough wit and resources. And it seems with their advanced display of mathematics displayed in the pyramids, they had both. Unfortunately, J.P. Morgan stopped funding Tesla's project before he could finish it. Most speculate that he realized the lack of profitability in free energy production, or he was convinced by greater powers to do otherwise. But the last night before Tesla abandoned his project, some witnesses say they saw lightning and huge bolts of electricity jetting off into the atmosphere from the top of the tower. But no official results came of that final experiment. So what do you think? Was Tesla reverse engineering the pyramids to create a free energy device? Could it even be possible for ancient Egyptians to have possessed such advanced technology? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.